Yes, thank you so much, and I'm very happy, Gloria, to be here with you. I think this is a pleasure beyond, and I have to make a confession right now. I fell in love. I did, not with you, Jonathan, yet, but first moment I came to Saudi last November, I thought, wow, this is something so special, and it happened again when I arrived here. You know, where people actually, you know, look directly into your eyes, whoever you meet, you see, I felt seen as a person. That is very, very special. Now, I have since will be talking about healing, my company is called Healing Hotels of the World, our brand, and that is a brand for holistic hotels and resorts all over the world with about 100 properties focused on holistic health and well-being. So we want to take you on a little journey now of detox. And we start this with, if you can, put your phones down for maybe 20 minutes or so. We call this digital detox. Thank you.
Excellent. Let me just start with a question for the audience. And thank you, Jonathan, for the invitation, and congratulations for this amazing summit. Who from the audience has been in a wellness retreat? Could you guys raise your hand? Okay, some of you. Now, who would like to be in a retreat for wellness? That after that week, you can lose some weight, detox, heal, get better. Interesting. The previous panelists, they say that for secondary cities, it's complicated. And I disagree. I totally disagree, because COVID changed the priorities. But let me tell you something. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, as Anne suggested, and she very well forecasted, healing, wellness was already a priority. But COVID changed our lives, because now we prioritize more healing, wellness, our health, our family. Yes, 62 million jobs were lost. 20 of those have been recovered. I was the voice of the private sector, the global private sector, on the pandemic. But I can tell you something that it was clear: the pandemic changed our priorities. There is a hotel in Mexico that I will talk a little bit about that, called Rancho La Puerta, in a secondary city. When I was the minister, I was not able to go there. Why was that? Because this was a property that is specialized in healing and wellness. They had bookings with 1 year in advance to go to this place. And what is unique about that place?
Yeah, thank you. I think we should also think about the founder, Deborah Selecki, who turned 101 years last week. So they created this property about 65 years ago or something. And you know, Rancho La Puerta was one of our first early members in Healing Hotels of the World. And because it was really, you know, when we created this brand, the brand is built on criteria which we worked many, many years on. Rancho La Puerta has done the same thing. They really, from the first moment on, you know, when they came over from Hungary, they wanted to find a place that is really there for people to heal, which is a step up from wellness. You know, where they took people in and made clear that we all have a responsibility for our own lifestyle. So you learn, in a way, you relearn how to live in terms of how you eat, you know, how you take care of your own sleep, how you really rethink your thoughts, meditation, yoga, and so on. It's a huge undertaking, and as Sarah, you know, who is the daughter of the founder, has now taken this over. It's a continuous development. It's a continuous investment. And it's an investment in yourself. And I think, I want to add something here, Gloria, because I'm so passionate about this. You know, everybody over the last 2 days spoke about change in a way. And I think 2 points I want to make here, and that's something you can experience in a healing hotel. It's the change does not come from the outside. The change has to be a shift from the way we feel and think about life. The value, you know, the incredible value of a human life. That's where we all should start from, and that shift is coming from there. I'm not changing because somebody tells me, but because I want to. And that brings me to the second point. Somebody before here said, In the beginning, tourism was all about transaction. This is not anymore. We have to go to connection.
Connection.
And that's something we can learn.
That is very important. And wellness is a global market of $800 billion, forecasted to reach more than $1 trillion. The question is, how many of the investors that are joining us today would like to get a slice of that pie? And this is something that you can create a product, you can create a destination that is unique as we are rewriting the chapter of tourism in Saudi Arabia. Because a lot of rules are being defined from zero in this country that will be adopted globally. The question is, what do you need? Before in the panel that it was before us, they talk about the public and private sector collaboration. Of course, that is crucial. But we need to think also about the DNA of this country, the DNA of the destinations, so that you can come up with those unique experiences, as you say, and that's part of the change. But it's very clear, wellness is a priority, healing is a priority, but we need to work on that. We just need to develop those products, correct?
Yeah, and I think this is quite an interesting task at hand for Saudi and for everybody who is investing here or is participating in whatever way. I think it really, somebody said it's a blank sheet, right? This is a beautiful country. I haven't seen very much of it, but what I've seen gives me enough hope. For me, as a founder of such a brand, and before I was an advisor, for tourism boards as well, I could see very little was possible because it was already existing in a way. Change Manhattan, for instance, not possible. But here, you have a blank sheet and you have an amazing country with, I feel, a traditional, ancient way of hospitality, of healing. I think the Middle East, especially here, is such a beautiful, it touches me deeply. Yep. The beautiful, again, coming back to people, what an opportunity to make this, and I said this to Gloria before, why not making this the first world's healing destination? That can be possible.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we are driving change here because the transformation that is happening in this country is, as I always say, out of this world. It's very impressive. So,
how did you do this?
How do we do it? I think it's a matter of, they say before, working together, understanding the needs. The data is there. 8 out of 10 travelers, according to McKinsey, are telling us that wellness is important, wellness is priority, your health is important. The question is, do we have a place in Saudi today that you can go and enjoy the weekend and have a detox or have a session like in Rancho La Puerta for 1 full week or 2 weeks, that they give you special meals, that they help you to go through that process of healing? I'm not aware of, but I think there is a big opportunity to develop that and work with investors, and I think that's based on the DNA, something that we can do. But again, that requires change. Do not expect the government to come up with all the solutions, especially in the product. TDF and the government and many entities, of course, MT and others can help, but this is something that I think that the private sector can drive, and we should work together. But healing is a priority, wellness is a priority, and of course, sustainability, it is a priority. Because for years before COVID, people were talking about flight shaming and how we're part of the problem. But the reality is we are also part of the solution. Yes, 8% of the greenhouse come from our sector, but 8% also is the impact of food waste, as an example, globally. And when you talk about healness, when you talk about wellness, you pay attention to these things. Is that correct, Anne? Like the food, what you eat, what you do, what you drink.
Yes, everything. This is, when Jonathan and I discussed this, I think last year it was, how can hospitality lead the change? Lead the change, meaning climate change, meaning making life better for all of us. Honestly, we have to stop thinking that hospitality is only for a certain class of people. We should be working every day to make better life for everyone, for every person. And maybe that's naive, but I'm very serious here. And hospitality can be a change maker. Why? Because we meet so many people. Look at all the opportunities we have to teach people how to live better, how to eat better, how to, be more clear on the decision making. And coming back to sustainability, what an opportunity we have to showcase what you can do. Not only in a hotel, but in your home. Organic gardens, organic food, treating people better, treating your staff with respect and love and the whole thing.
Yeah, and something that I love about the Vision 2030 in this country is that we have put sustainability at the top priority. All the giga projects have sustainability in the center. In the ministry, sustainability is core. His Royal Highness announced in the South Korean Initiative in 2021 an initiative that we have a global center that is going to be based in Riyadh to support the entire sector so that we can have the knowledge, the best practices, learn from each other. So as to your point, it's a priority for the traveler, and it's a priority also for the industry. And for us, it's a priority for the country. But change is important. Let me just really quick do an exercise about change so that you can understand. Because I see some people distracted with their phones despite that you ask, right?
Oh!
Could you guys cross your hands? All of you, cross your hands. Please, let's just do this quick exercise. Now, what about if I ask you to cross your hands backwards? Cross your hands like in the back. You may say it's uncomfortable, right? How do you feel? It's not normal. I have never crossed my hands in the back. Why would I do that? Well, that is changed. But what about if I tell you that crossing your backs in your back, crossing your hands in your back is good for your back, is good for your health, and is good for your blood, the flow of your blood? You would have second thoughts, right? You say, okay, I'm going to try to do that more often. But that's the change. We need to think about wellness and healing and sustainability as a positive change. Sometimes we haven't done it before, we haven't experienced, but we need to learn from others, and we need to be open to these transactions. Am I right?
Yes, and that brings me to another point, Gloria. I hope you allow me to say that. So what I experience in Saudi is an incredible openness. I mean, we are global, so we are all over the world. I feel so much opportunity here, and openness for people also, to get out of the box. Excuse me, I'm so excited.
That's good. That's good. No, excellent.
Well, it's really, I feel you can do this here. You can do it in ways that we get for a moment away from the balance sheet. Not start with the ROI first, but start with the feeling of the heart that you have when you meet somebody. Look into their eyes, you feel welcome, you feel happy. That's a fulfillment. And I think that Saudi can do this. You can create out of a new understanding about humanity. I mean, we are in Saudi, human rights. We talk about image. We talk about all of that. You can do this in ways that it's really touching the rest of the world.
Absolutely. And you know what's also fascinating here is that 70% of Saudis are 35 or less. And of course, you and I were not part of the range, or that average, and here are a lot of people as well. But the nice thing is that the youth care about these things. The youth care about sustainability. They care about the planet. They care about wellness. I mean, for us, for my generation, Generation X, COVID changed the rules. Yes, for millennials, they already had that priority. So COVID enhanced that. But for the Generation Z, who basically are like my kids, this has been a priority already. And this is something that my son cares, where do they go? My daughter too, where do we travel? Is that a sustainable place? Is that related good with your good health? All these questions, and these are also the travelers of the future. So for the investors here, are you looking at these travelers of the future? How are you going to cater for them? Do you have the right product? Do you have the right solutions for them? So it's not only today, in order to capture what we have here, and as you say, our DNA, our hospitality, and the beautiful welcoming people from Saudi, but also how do we use all of that combined to create a unique product in this country to rewrite the chapter of tourism, to have something different that has not been created elsewhere, that we can really accelerate the implementation of wellness, healing, as part of, you can call it lifestyle, but the reality, it's a good, very interesting niche that we should capitalize, that the future generations also care.
Yes, and I think this is, it's very exciting to think about, talking bottom line now. I mean, healing hotels, in the healing hotels, people stay longer, almost double the time than in normal hotels. I don't know if that's been said before here. They stay longer. They are very loyal, repeating guests, and they spend more.
30%, 33% more than the average traveler.
And the sector is growing twice as fast as normal tourism. So here you have it all. And I think what it takes, and here's a little thing, it takes courage. It takes courage because when I was listening to all the speakers before here, especially designers, who shared that for them it's very difficult, to bring under the eyes of the financial director when they come in with new ideas, using sustainable materials, and then the bottom line says, no, that's not budgeted. The same goes for healing features in a hotel, to have the best practitioners. Imagine, in a healing hotel, you have to have the best practitioners. You cannot come up with just a treatment. So meaning the investment at the beginning may be more, and it probably, your ROI will be stretched a little bit in time. But in the end, you have it for the many, many years to come.
Absolutely. And and we have seen here some unique products. It reminds me, like, for instance, when I was in Mexico as the Minister of Tourism, we were talking about the Maya world, and we were looking at the treatments that the Mayas used to do. Like, for instance, these spas with chocolate, right? That you go there for a full day and they give you spa with chocolate, or use these herbs as part of the healing process. And that's so successful that people from all over the world travel to the same location, Tulum in Yucatan, to go through these treatments. Can we do something similar here in Saudi? Like, for instance, if we have the best dates, or for instance, I was in Taif with the roses. Can we have a treatment, an area for a hotel for just wellness with the roses, that you have a spa with roses and the whole experience? Absolutely. And I can guarantee you, people from all over the world will want to come here and join that healing process, that wellness. So we have a lot of unique cases in Saudi that we can capitalize on, and as you say, have a long-term opportunity. Yeah. And this can be in big cities or secondary cities, no? But this is product that we should develop with the private sector.
Yes, I think it's I look at, just looking at the land, this is a beautiful, I have to say, energy here. This alone, is your asset, just the energy of the country, of the land, of the desert. The desert in itself is said to be very healing. This is all where they all came from, right? We all came from. Make this, making this an asset and building a product around this for the whole complete hotel, not just the treatments, but the whole hotel should be being that. It's like a temple almost growing out of the sand. I can imagine that would be very, very successful. And then you have it. You have your I have one more question, Gloria.
Go ahead. And I have a comment at the end that we have a minute and a half to wrap it up.
So women. Okay, you and I are women. We are our runner, Elizabeth and I, who is sitting here. We are the female founders of a female-managed and led company, and so on. There's all this talk about women. All over the world, people don't believe me when I say, well, I just come back from Saudi, and it's free, it's safe, it's wonderful. I think, how did you do in such a short time?
Listen, what is happening here is, as I say, an impressive transformation. And Vision 2030, under the leadership of the Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman, is the best thing that could have happened to this country. Women went from not able to drive, not able to travel, not only to catch up, but to leapfrog. And I share this example with a lot of friends. For instance, we have an equal job, equal pay, equal job law that allows women to get paid exactly as men. We have quotas, we train in women. So it's very impressive what is happening here. And I had the chance to see that even with my own daughter. When we moved here, she was 17, now she's 18. The only regret that she has is why we didn't move sooner to Saudi, because she loves Saudi. And this is a woman that was living in London, that lived in the US before, and loves this country. So it's very impressive what's happening here. It's not only, as I say, catching up, but also leapfrogging. And let me also add, in the terms of tourism, the foundation that is being built here is also very impressive. His Excellency Ahmed Al-Khatib, very clear what he wants, very strong the foundation, and see the Ministry of Tourism as your best ally to make sure that your investments are successful, that we develop this sector together, and yes, that this country has everything to become top 5 in the world. I truly believe that. My country was able to make it once to top 5. We had a clear plan, and here I think we're going to achieve that very soon, especially with wellness experiences and sustainability and lifestyle that we have been talking. Thank you.
That's a wonderful goal, and let me add to this. You know, in my vision, and that was before COVID, all of a sudden I thought, that's my vision, I want to achieve this. To impact 1.1 billion people by the end of 2030. That was before I heard this 2030. So maybe I can invite you to participate in this vision, you know, having a better life all over the world, and why not starting this in Saudi?
Yeah, absolutely.
Today.
Thank you, and thank you everyone. It was a pleasure. Thank you.